Okay, so music is a weird verb. Now, when you hear that, you might think, well, music is not a verb. Playing music is an action, yes, but music by itself is more of a noun. Well, that depends on who you're asking. For example, if you're asking Christopher Small, musicking as a verb is a thing. Christopher Small is a very, how would you say, prominent and talked about musicologist who came up with the term of musicking, or rather proposed it. And I'm just directly quoting from Wikipedia here, and Wikipedia is quoting from his 1998 book, Musicking. According to Small, to music is to take part in any capacity in a musical performance, whether by performing, by listening, by rehearsing or practicing, by providing material for performance, in parentheses, what is called composing, or by dancing. And generally what he defines as musicking is very interesting, because it's not only the act of performing music, but anything to do with music, even as he would define later, preparing a stage, for example, for a musical performance, or by listening to it. I think he also includes the such a definition as just listening to music while you're not even on the set of a live performance, for example, which I find really, really interesting. Before he wrote Musicking in Music Society Education in 1977, he elaborated on this concept. The act of musicking establishes in the place where it is happening a set of relationships, and it is in those relationships that the meaning of the act lies. They are to be found not only between those organized sounds which are conveniently thought of as being the stuff of musical meaning, but also between the people who are taking part in whatever capacity in the performance. So, again, I'm quoting from Wikipedia, which is quoting from his book, Music, Society, and Education. But the reading about this stuff and thinking about music got me to think especially about how it differs from other kinds of artistic things. For example, painting or theater or sculpting and this and that, because performance is a much bigger part of music than, for example, painting is. And in theater, there's some kind of elements of participation, well, not participation, but let's just say ritual and performance there. But unlike in music, participation of the audience is sometimes part of the performance, I'd say, in more abstract ways or in more abstract products, but I'm not an expert in these subjects at all, so that's that. But again, musicking, which leads you to think, why would you even come up with this verb, right? Well, I think the unique qualities of music as opposed to painting, theater, writing, whatever, other forms of art, kind of necessitated this in Small's mind. It seems like that to me. Again, I'm just quoting off of Wikipedia, and I looked this guy up, but for me, as a musician myself, as you're playing music, as you're listening to music, and as you're discussing with other people, this art form made of audio that we create and listen to and enjoy so much does contain all the things that Small talks about, as opposed to something like painting, in which, yes, there is participation, there is an audience there, and painters do paint, and there's an act of creation, and even the making of the canvas, the making of the brushes, the supplying of the brushes, on the part of the painter or the production of all of these things, yes, that is also a process in and of itself, but it doesn't contain as much human interaction as the performance of music or writing. Again, you could talk about art theory and how that applies to, for example, painting or writing and all of these things, and in those kinds of theories, there's still an acknowledgement that there is an artist and an audience, and there is interaction. But I feel like that interaction is not as spontaneous, not as immediate as something like music, especially in live performance. Again, interactions between even the crew who prepare the live performance, even that interaction between the live audience and the performer, and also, importantly, the interactions between each performer creates a kind of intellectual environment, abstract environment, and also an actual literal physical environment that necessitates the use of the verb of musicking, or it necessitates a definition of the verb of musicking. And that got me to thinking another thing. Yes, it is easy to talk about live performance this way, but in terms of other kinds of things like composing and just maybe playing music privately, or playing music privately with a bunch of people but not having an audience except for the performers themselves, or even electronic music production, or Minecraft note block production. Minecraft footage should be playing over my talking right now. How about that kind of production? How about the process of composition or improvisation for the sake of itself or with other people? What kind of thing does that necessitate? Does the verb of musicking even necessitate that? And perhaps yes, because it does, again, allow for interaction. In the same way that painting or writing may, perhaps, because you produce some kind of art through these mediums, through writing or painting or making music, composing, and you may share that with other people. But then comes the thought of, well, how are these specific mediums and their products outputted? For example, a painting may be hung in a gallery, or hung on a wall, and is observed. Or, what would you say? Writing, similar way, where there is a stable product that you read or consume. Whereas music is a performance. It takes time. The consumption of the material is kind of, well, not passive, but you have to see a painting. You have to read a book. You have to behold a sculpture. Music, you start playing it, and it happens. And yes, you have to listen to it. There's some degree to that. And, okay, there's actually a lot of things to discuss about it, listening to music and whether it is active or passive. And the answer is that it's probably active, but regardless, there's still performance to music over time. And beholding a canvas, for example, maybe even an empty canvas, or a painting, or a sculpture, or reading a book, that's not performance, but music is performed. Would we be able to say that even electronic music is performed? Or is Minecraft note block music performed? That is a very interesting question. And the answer seems to be no. But also yes in certain contexts, because even pre-written electronic music or Minecraft note block music could be played, and then, let me explain it like this. Yes, pre-recorded music for a DJ could be played at a, for example, club or whatever, wherever DJ music is played, and when the DJ's playing their own composed music, well, they're in front of the table, and I don't quite honestly know what the process of being a DJ is like. That is my own fault. But in that process, there is still a performance. What about pre-recorded music that is not listened to or altered in a live setting? That is interesting. But that question then leads me to an incredibly interesting and lovely video made by a user named Kaimon Mock, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. And by the way, I will be linking this video in the description of this video because it is way too cool to not check out. It's Kaimon Mock's Giant Steps Minecraft note block cover. It's also made by, there's an AI soloer, and by AI I don't mean the stealing shit that ChatGPT and other bullshit whatevers do. But this guy basically created a semi-random AI, created a semi-random robot AI that, as it is also playing the chords to Giant Steps in Minecraft via note blocks, does a solo over it, which I think is incredibly cool. And now, that begs the question. Every time that machine is activated within Minecraft, while you can download the world and it's quote-unquote pre-recorded, every time you play it, the performance is different because the AI creates a new solo. So, is that performance? And to what degree does it necessitate the use of the verb musicking? I honestly don't know. Because this question could also be an extension of the question, is any kind of pre-recorded music and listening to any type of recorded performance, for example, is it similar enough to art forms, rather consumption, such as consuming painting, writing, and other art products, enough to abandon the use of the verb musicking for that instance? And I do not know. I do not know. The only thing that I can say confidently here is that, at least in live settings, musical performance incentivizes a kind of interaction that cannot be found in the consumption of works such as paintings or whatever have you, writing, sculpture. There are so many other art forms that I'm skipping over, and I'm not an art historian in different cultures and different time periods. Or poetry! How could I have forgotten about poetry? Oh my god! Poetry and dance is also an art form. God, I'm so sorry. But, yeah. That was my temporary scattered thoughts on music, spoken to in the background of a bunch of Minecraft footage of me gathering materials for building a fancy nether portal. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great day. And I strongly encourage you, rather, to check out Kaiman Monk's Giant Steps video created in the fact that machine was created in Minecraft. That complicated beast of a thing was created in Minecraft. It is incredible, and the video has so little views. Check that out. If you can, read Christopher Small's work. Think about musicking. Think about how art differs, and just think about stuff. Think, please. Thinking is extremely valuable. Reading is valuable. And with that, I bid you farewell. Take care of yourselves, and have a great day.